Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Alex. And today on the program, I have a very well-known internet celebrity. His name is Michele Ponte. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for hosting me, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell us, you've made a lot of moves here in the last year, and a lot of this has to do with probably local economies, countries' economic outlooks, inflation. Tell us all about what the move, and now I know you're not a geopolitical guy, but that has definitely played a lot in your future here. So tell us about how you wound up here in China and why.
So, to say it in a very, very not proper way, Europe is going down the toilet, and
Okay.
and therefore I had to check my options around the world, and I realized that China is the only place that felt safe, organized,
Mm-hmm.
with the right amount of taxes, not a massive amount,
Okay.
with the right amount of opportunities. And that's why I ended up spending more time here.
Okay. Now, where is here for you?
Here I am in the Guangdong area, not
Okay.
far from Guangzhou, not far from Shenzhen, not far from Hong Kong. I am in the middle of all these cities, just next to
Okay.
Macau.
So it seems like quite an economic area in China, right? Because you're with the financial area of the Special Administration Region of Hong Kong. You're also in the Pearl River Delta, which consists of Guangzhou, Shenzhen, which is the, I guess we could call it Silicon Valley of China, and
Hmm.
Zhuhai. Tell us about Zhuhai. What's going on down there? And what made you decide that area?
Okay. I want to say it was an economical decision, but the
Sure.
reality is that I have a girlfriend here, and
Okay.
that's why it made sense to spend more time in this city. And I also love the fact that this city is in the middle of all these uh, economic entities. And I
Mm-hmm.
love the fact that all the factories are here, all the opportunities are here. When you go out, you can meet uh, very interesting people. You can meet even people that speak English. And it's kind of, this area is a bit more multicultural compared to other parts of China,
Right.
because all the foreigners, they do come here to do business.
Business. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so not just there in the holiday. Um, Now you mentioned business. I mean, there's a lot of events that goes on in that area. I guess you have the Canton Fair every couple of years. You have the Zhuhai Air Show. Probably a lot of shows in Shenzhen as well. But you strike me as a content creator. I've had a view of your channel. I know that a lot of it was based around travel, but you've actually started to really migrate over to the business aspect. Is that because of where you are? It's kind of sparking your interest, or do you just generally find that type of information worthy to tell your big audience?
Um, I think that if you really want to enjoy travel, you need to first achieve something business wise.
Mm,
And once you achieve some business goals, you have the larger opportunities to travel to locations that are farther, more interesting, or more expensive, or simply more complicated. Because money solves half of the
hmm.
problems worldwide. So there is no other way to put it. And therefore, not only I met many people doing businesses in this area, but I started consulting for businesses myself. I do help businesses succeeding on Western social media, on YouTube especially, and I'm opening my mind to different opportunities. I'm finding a way. I'm trying to find a way to build in the future my own products, my own companies, and so on and so on. I I think traveling is part of my life, but I needed to reach that economical aspect that will give more balance to this life.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mention, you know, having some sort of business that can help you enjoy the traveling aspect of it and making money. Um, you're Italian. Most people would say, well, Italy has a big travel sector. Isn't there opportunities for you in Italy? and why the sudden change to China? What has really driven you there? Because a lot of people around the world will probably ask you this question: Why China? Why not just go back and stay in Italy? What's your experience?
Okay, so it's a bit long, this one.
Tell us. We'd love to
Italy.
hear it.
Italy, it feels like stagnation. It feels like very low possibility to grow. It feels like almost no opportunities. It feels like half of your life is devoted to taxes. Not only that, let's say I pay somebody 1,000, I have to give 500 to the government. Sorry, I have to give another 1,000 to the government, and then you go buy a product, you get 22% taxes, and then it feels like the entire life is devoted to sustain a system that is a bit unsustainable, and the country is changing. Italians are not making children. There
Hmm.
are a few immigrants making children. The culture is changing, and especially from the safety aspect. Uh, it's not safe anymore. I don't know if you heard, Alex, last week,
Mm.
an entire bus of Chinese was completely robbed while they were eating at
Wow.
a restaurant. I don't know
I
if you
didn't
heard
hear
about
this
that.
news. I didn't hear this news, but please tell us.
So
Wow, that's
practically,
staggering.
um, and I'm shocked by it because they said the bus driver was supposed to look the bus and keep it safe, but he parked the bus in an area that had cameras everywhere apart from one corner of the bus,
Hmm.
and these thieves, they were able to open the side of the bus and steal every single luggage of this bus full of Chinese tourists. Every single luggage, like from some people claim that they bought watches to bring back to China,
Wow.
leather bags, stuff like that, expensive stuff, cheap stuff, even their own
Hmm.
clothes. They found nothing, and it's
Broad
absolutely shocking.
daylight, huh? Broad
Broad,
daylight.
broad daylight. And what is funny, um, I went back to Italy for a short vacation, and I brought to one of my brothers like a bracelet that you attach
Hmm.
it to your telephone, and I saw it advertised in China like a bracelet
Hmm.
anti thieves in Europe during a vacation. That was the tagline or something like that.
Wow.
So you attach this bracelet to your telephone and they cannot steal the telephone. Imagine how people have to travel to Europe. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's pretty staggering. Can you still hear me, Ponte? Are you okay? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. Don't
yes,
worry.
100%.
I've just lost my camera here, but we'll get it back in a moment. But you're the main
Mm-hmm.
character anyway, so let's continue to focus on you. Um, so we've seen that you're saying that the government they do collect a lot of taxes. Unfortunately, providing security for people seems to be non-existent at the moment. Opportunity for the people doesn't seem to be too much optimism there, and the future does not seem bright. Am I accurate on this assessment?
100% accurate. 100%.
Mm. And what do you think is driving that from the average person not losing faith in the system? Is that just your observation because you're a guy that has traveled to so many countries around the world? You could see it on your channel. You've been to entire nations in Africa. Amazing amount
Everywhere.
of nation. Um, but I mean, is this your assessment? Because you travel to all these other countries, you can collectively form a very valuable opinion. I mean, this is Western Europe. This is Italy. Things should be
My
booming.
My worry is that the majority of people are not even realizing that because
Mm,
they didn't have the opportunity to see a different perspective,
okay.
and therefore they are lost thinking that Italy is the only way, Europe is the only way. They are lost thinking that oh, we are the only people right on this planet. Everybody wants to come here. Everybody wants to live here, and that's their way of thinking that is very stuck in the past
Mm,
because they don't realize the development of China. They don't realize the development of many places around the world. They don't realize how was safe in Italy in the past, because they are now getting used to, oh, this is the way it is. Uh, okay, you cannot hang out at night. Girls cannot travel by themselves at night. They always should be
Mm,
next to a boyfriend, next to a friend. They cannot go back at home by themselves. And I'm like, why? Why is it supposed to be this way? Like, there was a safer Europe. It was until recently, maybe
mhm,
10, 20 years ago,
mhm,
when I was a kid, it was safe. I was going to school. I was going to school like on foot from the elementary school to my house. And I was 6, 7, 8 years old going on foot by myself. And
mhm.
now you cannot do it.
My oh my, how the world has changed. And Italy, we've seen unfortunately some pullback from their support to the Belt and Road. Hopefully, that might just be a temporary thing, or maybe a governmental transition thing that they will come back down to what I feel is reality here. I mean, um, I, as a Canadian here, living here in China for 5 years, understand that this is a country that A, doesn't want conflict. B, wants to get with better relationships in business and put the political stuff aside. I mean, it's a culture and it's a country that's almost run like a company. Um, okay, so let's move away from the European aspect and let's now focus on China. What are some of the positive things that you've seen here, and what are some of the things that maybe potentially the country needs to work on? It could be, I'll give you some ideas. It could be, how can they get more tourists here, or how can they make it easier for tourists here? And maybe some of the things that you enjoy that maybe some of the people are very unaware of in the rest of Europe. Let us know.
First of all, I think that the country is going in the right direction
Mm-hmm.
and is leading the market technologically. Technologically, I mean both by EV and AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody knows this is the future. I met even recently in Chongqing some people that moved from Mercedes to work for Chang'an, and they did this move because they were living in Germany, working in Germany, and they understood that you need to go where the future is, and the future is the present over here in China.
Mm.
So I noticed these very high level people in leadership position in Europe moving to China, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the people are finally understanding it. Like I was blessed because I was traveling. I met you in many countries, and I always saw that there was some kind of opportunity here. But once the world starts realizing it, it's gonna be incredible. I think everybody's gonna come here and. You need to go where the business opportunity are. You need to go where the future is. You need to go where the people are developing into something else. If you stay in a stagnant market, you risk disappearing, like many other companies have disappeared in the
Mm-hmm.
past.
Let's think about that. Now, there are challenges, I guess, coming to China. Of course, language barriers is one of them.
Mhm.
Cultural differences is another. Um, what are some of the positive aspects that you've seen, and what are some of the challenges that you continue to endure?
So positive aspects, I think the majority of the people are very friendly, very welcoming, and challenges. I think China is facing some challenges that are very similar to what Europe faced. Like the new generation doesn't grind as much as the previous generation because now they had it good.
Okay.
And
Funny how that works, huh?
so that's, yeah, yeah. So once the country becomes successful, maybe people don't want to do some kind of jobs and so on and so on. But the good aspect of that is that lots of jobs that people don't want to do in Europe, don't want to do anywhere else, they are
Mm-hmm.
being replaced by robots. And China, I think, is the most advanced country currently regarding robots. You can even meet some of these robots on the streets. Um, you can even meet them like in the hotel. I don't know if it happened to you. Probably it
Yeah,
did.
I've seen
Like
it.
when the food delivery in the hotel. I once crashed against a food delivery robot inside the hotel because I was not expecting turning the corner, and I'm pretty tall, and uh, and I crashed against this robot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I need to check everywhere I put my feet because
It's
you
quite
know.
amazing when I'm asking, what are some of the challenges, and you give me some of the challenges that you're walking into robots delivering foods and
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. Very
yeah.
interesting.
That's
Let's talk about, and I'm not sure if you know much about this, but the 80th anniversary is coming up for China here, uh, of the Sino-Japanese war and conflict that took place 80 years ago on September the 3rd. Is there much talk about that or anything down in your area? Do in your friend circle, do they talk about this at all?
no, I think nobody knows about it.
Okay.
Um,
Then let's
once,
yep, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, let's say I got to learn about it once I came to Asia,
Okay.
and like I saw videos like, oh, don't wear this Japanese shirt in China, it's
Mm,
very offensive, and and then I noticed the same thing in Korea, and I noticed the in other parts of Asia, and it seems like I was even in Guam recently. It seems
mhm.
like everybody has problem with the Japanese. and I realized
Interesting.
that because Europe is like part of NATO, we grew up with the idea that Japan is awesome, Japan is fantastic, Japan
Right.
is developed, and so on and so on. But
Mhm.
historically speaking, everybody has had problems with the Japanese. Everybody.
Well, that's
So
interesting. Let's move on to another more colorful topic here. Um,
I wanna visit Japan. By the way,
yes,
I might be doing that very recently. So just stating historically speaking.
let's talk about new energy vehicles. And I mean,
Hmm.
a couple of years ago, I was starting my journey and to educating myself about these vehicles. What's your thoughts of new energy vehicles?
By the way, Alex, your videos about new energy vehicles, they are awesome. And
Thank you.
I think you're reaching a very big market on your channel, Reportify Media.
Thank you very much.
And you're welcome. Regarding the EV vehicles, I think that was a massive shift. I think that China did it right. I recall maybe you telling me that before putting all the vehicles on the streets, they said, "Oh, we need to build the infrastructure first."
Okay.
So you have electricity pumps under the malls, electricity station everywhere, and then they allowed these vehicles to come. So I think it was organized very well. The other aspect of it, I think it's really, really good that it allowed the country to improve the air quality in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, as many recall, in the past, China was infamous for very bad air quality, but things have completely shifted. And I think the energy vehicles are combined with AI and are combined with robotics. And I think it's all together one big group of things that will lead the nation forward. The only downside of energy vehicles, to me, is that many drivers don't know how to drive. so, so they accelerate. So,
Yeah.
when you asked me before, one of these things about China that could be improved, some drivers, they should be back in
Is it,
driving
it,
schools,
it,
to be
it yeah,
honest.
yeah. I actually tend to agree with you on that. Um, even though these are very hard exams to pass for driving, I just wonder sometimes. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that's an area that I think they should improve on. Also, some of the car technology, some of the braking, and some of the newer or older versions of the new energy vehicle cause me to get a headache a lot when driving in the
Yes.
car.
Hmm.
So I had been with one company that used a car that I didn't really feel too comfortable in, felt a bit queasy in it. And then I changed to another company, ride sharing program or platform, that I got to
Hmm.
choose maybe a different car. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Hmm.
Do you use these cars? Tell us about the use of them for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I mostly drive for something that on the bicycle will take me like 45 minutes. And I do that on the bikes very often, especially when I have time. When I don't have time, I pay like 15, 16 RMB on Didi.
Mm.
And Didi is like the local Uber.
Okay.
Actually, I think Didi bought Uber here in China.
Yeah, something
And
like that. Yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, for less, let's say for $2, I get they bring me to my destination in like 10 max 15 minutes, which is incredible. Of course, if you go during a traffic crash after work time and so on and so on, the price will increase to maybe $3 or $4. But
Mm.
so,
Nothing
so
major.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
I use mostly Didi, to be honest.
Now we have another interesting situation. I don't know if you've heard that Luckin Coffee has opened its doors, at least on the
Mm-hmm.
delivery front in America. Have you heard much about that story?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen that, and I noticed that most of the reviews are positive.
Hmm.
Like after we spent maybe almost 2 years of my life in China, or I don't know, 18 months of my
Hmm.
life in China, combined in the past 3 years.
Hmm.
I was expecting some negative reviews like, oh, you download the app, you get scammed, they will steal your data and so on. But instead, it seems like the American market really liked liking coffee, and I think the main thing is
I think they like not
Starbucks.
getting ripped off.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. I
I'm
think
like,
Starbucks made the coffee so expensive that now people are shocked when they see, oh, that's the real price of coffee. Like,
there it is.
it's
How to take market share, delivery, innovation, great product, great price with great people, and there you go. And that's, I think,
yes,
the combination. We've seen that. Of course, America tries to stop these things. I mean, look at Shein and Taobao. A lot of these overseas platforms, Temu,
Huawei.
they're and they're just trying to stop, stop, stop. Well, they just go to another market and say, okay, well, if you don't want our efforts down there, we'll go to South America. If there's 8 billion people on this planet, they're only 325, 330 million, and that's no shot against America. But America seems to be the one that always continues to have a problem. They're okay to buy cheap goods and export them to their markets, which they then use to build something with, like Lego, or I call them Lego businesses, is because basically most of
Mhm.
the parts and accessories come from China. They assemble them, even Apple assemble them, and then they sell them onto their market and keep great profits. And they're complaining about what? The profits go to the company, the consumer is happy, and China is used as manufacturing, and they want more from this. So yeah, it's quite challenging. Let's end it off with
100%.
let's end it off with this here. What do you see foreseeable here with so many geopolitical things going on in the world? We got the conflict in Ukraine and Russia. We have the conflict in the Middle East. We have brewing conflicts everywhere. It looks like the Trump administration yesterday decided to escalate the issues in Ukraine by not necessarily giving Ukraine weaponry, but actually giving it to NATO, charging it from NATO, and then selling it onwards to the Ukraine to basically escalate that conflict that has been so rapidly killing people over the last 3 years. Your thoughts, your outtakes, maybe your crystal ball. What do you anticipate is going to go on here in the second part of this year? Here, are we going to see calm, or is China going to
I
have to
lost you for a
really
second.
get going
Can you
here?
hear me?
What's your thought? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you. Are we going to see calm, or
Oh,
what are we going to
okay, okay.
see?
So I do not have a crystal ball, not yet. I am trying to find it somewhere. My feeling is the US, NATO, and so on, they need wars around the planet for two
Hmm.
main reasons. Uh, Number one is they need to keep selling weapons.
Hmm.
Number two, they need the price of petrol to stay very high.
Hmm.
So probably if Iran is selling too much petrol, the price will go down. If Ecuador is selling too much petrol, the price will go down, and so on and so on. So it's not good. They need the price of petrol very much up. And honestly, I hope there is no World War III, but I know that there is no real end to wars, and they are lucky that they live in a continent that is so far from other continents. So in theory, nothing is going to happen to them, not yet. And unfortunately, I think that people in power in the government have no power. I think the US is more like an oligarchy when they accuse Russia of oligarchy. It's like a corporation oligarchy. So the corporation decide everything. They decide the future of the citizen. They decide probably maybe what the president is going to do, what the other politicians are going to do. So I don't want to say I have a pessimistic view. I think my view is pretty realistic.
Well, I think it is pretty realistic. I'm not going to add to that because I pretty much agree with all your points on there. Mr. Ponte, once again, it's Ponte Travels. Is that correct? The channel name for
Yeah,
you?
right now on YouTube is Ponte Travels, and if anybody needs business consultation for your own social media, how to grow on social media, sorry for shouting out
No,
myself.
let's do that.
I'm super available, and yeah.
Okay, we'll put
Contact me.
those links in the description below, but I appreciate your time today. Just stay backstage with us, and thanks again, Michele Ponte. I wish you all the best. I'll see you backstage.
You too.
Thanks for joining.
Thank
Bye
you,
for
Alex.
now. Okay.